Good morning. I hope there's something on your mind today that's making you feel grateful. I hope there's something in your life that you're looking forward to. And if there isn't, please take the time to find it, to know it, to create it, and chase after it and be with it. Right? Chase after it and be with it. One and the same, one and a difference, right? You'll figure it out as you move along that path. What I want to talk about today is in correlation with this very idea. There's so many different ways we can be in this life. There's so many different ways, so many different things we can pursue and be a part of and put our energy into. A lot of times we don't realize that that's what we're doing. A lot of times we're just part of whatever it is. We don't realize that we are consciously or we are being a part of something. We're not doing it consciously, so we don't understand that that's what we're doing. We don't understand that we're putting our energy into something outside of ourselves. Right? We don't really think about it that deep. We're just there. We don't take the time to really see something for its entirety. But in our reality, everything we're doing is an energetic diversion, like it's something that our energy is going to go into and create more of in some way, shape, or form. That's why so many of us, that's one reason why so many of us feel such a strong feeling or hate for maybe the work that we're doing. If you work for a company that, let's say, doesn't do as well as they could by their clients, their customers, very common, right? It's hard on the soul. It's hard on how you feel. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. It's hard on all these different parts of you. It's hard on your energy. Why? Well, because even if you don't realize, you are an energetic being, right? The soul of you is constantly in motion. It's constantly feeling and seeing and being a part of different situations, or at least in cohesion with your physical body it is. So when you go to work and you see the clients of your company getting screwed over or not done right by, and you see the energetic difference it makes in their life, and maybe you have to deal with it. Maybe you have to deal with their backlash, right? Maybe that's your job, even though you didn't cause the issue. That's hard on us. That's hard on the soul. You can tell the difference of energy. But we stay there and we remain and we don't do much about it in a lot of situations. We don't because we don't truly realize what's going on. We just get used to it and mark it off as that's what the job is. And we're here for whatever reason we are. We don't put ourselves first. We don't put our soul first. We forget about it and we move on and we don't do anything to change it. But what does that say about your soul? What does that say for you? How are you going to continue on that path in the long term? What else is going to suffer because of this avoidance? What else is going to suffer? Because I promise you, it'll blow over into something else. Our souls tell us something for a reason. The way we feel about an action that we're doing, or a situation that we're in, or an environment that we're in, there's something there. There's something to be identified and picked up on and done something with because of. But most of the time we just avoid it and do whatever we have to continue to avoid it. Whether it's substances or entertainment or various different things that take our mind off of what we really want to, what our soul really wants us to look at and view. Or even worse, we have different mental patterns, thought patterns that take us away from the responsibility very quickly. And so you get to a point where you need to take responsibility, but there's no way for you to. It's so incredibly hard for you to do so because the thought patterns that you have, how quick your brain is to resist responsibility and put it on someone else. Are you taking the time to look at your situations non-subjectively and accept what is your fault, what is your responsibility, or at the very least what the problem is that you can change? Right? Because even if something isn't your fault, it can still be your problem. And if you just put it off as it's not your fault, well, you're still going to have that problem. So many people live in that. I'm here to tell you today that you can change that, dude. You can change that. You can shift the perspective. You can shift that responsibility to actually be one who is accountable for their own life. Someone who is actually accountable for the decisions they make and where they end up. You see, entrepreneurship will teach you responsibility through and through. That is, if you stay in it. That is, if you continue down the path and you remain consistent. Because it's always easier to take responsibility, even though the pain is more present. That's the joy of it, right? You can either you can blame someone else and feel the pain down the road because you continue to fail in ways that you could avoid, for lack of better words, or you can face the pain right now and do something different to be more accountable, to be more responsible, and change the situation. But you have to be willing to face that pain. You have to be willing to be more than what you already are right now, today. Face yourself today. You can hear my dog in the background. You have to be willing to face yourself today instead of down the road. Right? Because as we push responsibility off, what happens? Well, that plays into everything else. It plays into everything else. But it all starts with what we're avoiding, what our mind, what our soul was trying to tell us. Those are two different things. But the soul was trying to tell us something, that our higher self, and our mind is what gets in the middle of it. Our mind is what, our mind in our body, our mind in our brain, whatever it is, the mind of us, it all varies, has a pattern, right? It can have a pattern where it accepts it. It can have a pattern where it denies it. It can have a pattern where it just avoids it. There's all these different patterns that we may have. What do you have? What is causing you to not look at your what you should be looking at responsibly? Take the time, develop the mind, develop the mindfulness, I should say, and control who it is that you're being on a day-to-day basis. You'll never regret it. You'll never regret it. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.